Sup, bitches? So, I was just laughing really hard right before this because I'm texting this girl and I'm explaining to her or, telling her that I'm a retard, self-proclaimed retard. And she's like, what does that mean? I'm like, oh, well, it means I can be a bit stupid at times. And, I said, it's something I use to kind of keep the pressure off of myself. It's a little bit like a cop out. I can acknowledge that. But then I ask her, I'm like, what? You don't got no retard in you? That made me crack up really hard. Like, it made myself laugh a lot. And right now I'm noticing that my voice sounds even weirder than yesterday's. I thought it would have gotten better by now, but it's like way, way weird. I don't know. Let's see if the girl's message. Okay. So, is there a reason I use the word retard? Like, because people say it carries a lot of connotation. Um, so like, this is what I wanted to flesh out maybe, because like I don't know how to answer this question. I don't know what it means to be a retard, or why I consider myself one. I don't really know what it means to be a retard. I just like to consider myself one. Um, like, what does it mean to be a retard? Does it mean that you're slow or you're stupid? Like, I don't necessarily think so. I don't think that's, you know, like a retardant is something that, stops fires or something. Isn't that what it is? So if I admit that I'm using calling myself a retard as a cop out, is that a double cop out? I don't know what that means. Um, like, I don't know. I just like to consider myself a retard, even though I don't know what it means to be a retard. maybe I just consider a retard someone who's detached from the rest of the world, and they're kind of, you know, just in their own little world and doing their own thing, having their own thoughts that, you know, they're just special. You know, like a retard is just special, a unique person. I think that kind of sums it up a little bit. Like, so yeah, I think a retard is someone that's special. They're always in their own little world and are detached from everyone else, essentially. That's what I just said. And tea time. Well, I don't know. Kind of makes sense to me. You know, that's a decent definition of what a retard is, right? Because obviously that it's not too specific. It kind of leaves things open for either interpretation or just lifestyle. However, the retard wants to live their lives, whatever little world they've got going on. But I guess the important aspect is like the detachment and you just don't feel like you fit in with the world and the people around you. You're just special. So, yes, in that way, I'm a retard. Now, before I ever thought this and fleshed it out, I never considered being a retard a bad thing. I think we've all got a little bit of retard inside of us. And that's not a bad thing. I think it can be useful and helpful. There's nothing wrong with being a retard at all. So, with that last thing I said, like, of how a retard is someone that's special, they're always in their own little world and are detached from everyone else essentially. Girl responds, "That's a super sweet definition, but not really how the word functions in society." So my initial thought to that is like, well, that's the benefit of being a retard. You don't have to go with the functions of society. Oh, Fabia's here. Come here, bitch. So yeah, that's the perks of being a retard. Have to conform with society. You don't have to conform with society's standards. Does that make sense? Like, being a retard is so freeing. it's just like it takes the chains off your ankles or wherever, like it could be around your neck or around your brain, your head. Just it releases the shackles. Good kitty. It's going up on the bed. It's going to go sleep. Good boy. Lie down. Um, it says there's a viewer here, so if you're real, say something about being a retard. Just do it. So, it it's really fucking great. Like it's so great to be a retard. It feels great. It's the most freeing thing there is, honestly. Like I don't know, there's probably more freeing things, but like at this present moment, the most freeing thing I can think of is to be a retard in today's society. Because it's like it's like being autistic without actually having autism. Like it's like claiming you're mentally ill without, you know, obviously like I think I talked about I don't like the words mental illness. So it's like claiming you have a mental handicap or whatever. But you're just it's self-proclaimed. You're just like stating it. You're like, yeah, I'm a retard. What you gonna do about it? Like I just think it's great to be a retard. I think it's fucking great because someone with autism does not conform to society standards. They're kind of just doing whatever the fuck they want. They're not thinking about how other people are gonna see them and like how what they're doing might seem weird to other people or not normal. Like they don't process that shit at all. That doesn't matter to them. And that just, that's fucking great. I love it. And I aspire to do that. So me being a retard is wanting to like get to that level of the autistic person without having autism. Is like just doing whatever the fuck I want and not worrying about what other people are going to think, not worrying if it's quote unquote normal or acceptable, just not going by society's standards and functions and definitions. Like, throw all that in the garbage. Because if you're a retard, it doesn't matter. Not one bit. Not one damn bit. So, like, there's something about forcing people to reconsider the definition of words that like intrigues me. So, sure, when people see or hear the word retard, they've got something in their head of preconceived notion, whatever it may be. I don't know. Because in my head, it's like, what I said, like nothing bad about it. It's just somebody in their own little world, not going by society standards. They're special. Like, it's great. But I don't know what other people have in their head. Honestly, I don't. I don't know what people think a retard is. So, like, I'm wondering, like, what do people think of when they hear the word retard? Like, I don't think it's bad that I'm repurposing the word retard for um, my own means and endeavor. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm just, forcing people to think again about what it means to be a retard. I don't know. I don't know. If you've got a problem with the word, that's not my problem. Sounds like a you problem. If you've got all these thoughts and preconceived notions of what a retard is, like, that has nothing to do with me. That's in your head. That's what you think a retard is. I think being a retard is great. I know I already said that, but I'm just going to keep saying it because that's what I think. It's fucking great. There ain't a damn thing wrong with being a retard. Not a damn thing. And it's a damn shame that that word has been ostracized in culture or society at large today. Like, people are scared of saying the word. And I don't get it. Like, I grew up using that word, and it was never something hateful. It was never something derogatory or like mean. It was just like it was always playful and funny. It was like, don't be retarded. Like, oh, like, why are you being retarded? Like, don't worry about that. It's okay. Like, it was never a bad word when I was growing up. I literally grew up saying the word retard, and I never considered it as a bad word. And nowadays, like, people refer to it as the R word. Like, what the fuck? Seriously? The R word? So, like, first we can't say nigger, now we can't say retard? Like, what is that? Next, you're not gonna be. Oh, wow. I just had the thought. Next, you're not gonna be able to say father or mother. But we're already seeing shit like that where they literally don't want you calling parents father and mother. Like, they want to get rid of that shit. Certain people from certain groups want to get rid of that shit. And it's fucking insane. I don't even know what they want to replace it with. Like, parent one and parent two? Thing one, thing two? Birthing person and inseminating person? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. But it all started with nigger. That's where it all fucking started. started calling it the N word, which is almost worse, honestly. It doesn't make any sense because how can you limit our vocabulary to saying the N word means a specific word that starts with N? Like, and everybody fucking knows what the word is, apparently, when you say the N word. Like, what? What? What if I was gonna say namaste or noob or nude? Like, when did the N word become synonymous with nigger? I don't understand that one bit. And it's like, when did we start using the R word as a synonym for retard? I don't get that at all, honestly. I don't remember when that happened either. So I'm wondering, like, what do other people think that a retard is? I don't know. Like, what do you have in your mind? What do you think a nigger is? What do you have in your mind? Is it all programming? Do you associate the word nigger with a black person? Because I don't. No. Unless it's like programming. That part of my brain does. But the logical side is like, no, anybody can be a nigger. I can be a nigger. You can be a nigger. Anybody can. Doesn't fucking matter what color skin you have at all. Being a nigger is a personality trait. And sure, in this modern day culture and society, we've been taught that being a nigger is a black person, and that apparently we've used that as a synonym for a black person for so long that, now it's just hate speech against black people. But, like, that's not true. It's not. It doesn't make sense. For one, why or do all the black people refer to themselves as niggers? Like, why did they start doing that? Maybe it's a way to keep them down. You know, if you if you encourage certain people to refer themselves by a word and then condemn that word and tell everybody else they can't say it, it's a bad word, while at the same time the people that use that word to refer themselves by still use it. Like, what kind of schism are you creating there? You know, like, what programming are you putting into people's mind? For, like, on one hand, black people refer to themselves as niggas and niggers, like, all the time in music and, like, rap and, like, in everyday life. It's like nigga this, nigga that, you know, it's so stupid. And then on the other hand, like anybody that isn't black is never supposed to say nigger. Never, never, never. Bad word. You're the bad man if you ever say it. Bad man, bad man. Hate speech. Bad man. You're hurting them. It's so real. And I think that's a bit of what's happening to the word retard as well. But, who are the actual retards? Well, who used to be the actual, like, the original people that we were convinced to refer to as retards? Like, were they the mentally handicapped people? Is that where it started? I don't know. I don't remember. I guess, maybe. Historically, it's an insult against people with learning disabilities or mental illness. It's also an adjective, like being retarded, synonym with slow or delayed. So, do I associate with any of those definitions of retard? Uh, well, for one, I don't think I believe in mental illness. And two, like slow or delayed, meaning retard. I mean, yeah, it can be slow at times, I guess. It takes me time to wrap my head around something. Like it's not necessarily a bad thing to be slow. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to be slow. Does that make sense? So, I think we've kind of gotten down to the bottom of this whole retard thing. Like the actual definition of retard doesn't seem to be hateful at all. Like, okay, yeah, if we used that word to refer to people with quote unquote mental illnesses or learning disabilities, then all we're saying is that they're slow or delayed, according to the other definition of retarded, which isn't a bad thing. Like, that doesn't inherently mean something bad, you know? I think it's, I think it's really cool to be a retard. Be proud to be a retard. Don't be proud to be gay. That's fucked and inverted. But being proud to be retarded, I think that's okay. I don't see anything wrong with that as of right now. Not a damn bit. Not a damn bit. So, yeah, don't be a bitch. Be a retard.